Hello and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for August 7th to August 14th, 2026. If you're new here, hi, my name is Titania, and every week I pull the cards for us as a community so that we can get a sense of what would be most in service to us, how it would serve us best to be in the week to come. And I do that for the solstices and the equinoxes as well. I'm also available for personal readings. The information is below this video, so if you'd like to reach out and have your own very personal reading, I would love that. Let's get into this week's reading, shall we? I invite you to close your eyes and let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. Pulling our energy into sync across time and space. And with that third exhale, I invite you to imagine a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going deep down into Mother Earth and grounding you here and now in this present moment, knowing that this tree root is not only anchoring you and grounding you, but it is a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania, and I'm here with all of your children now and in the future as we co-create this reading of the week for August 7th to the 14th, 2026. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in the manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present and facilitate our exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and the best way possible, and that we cover all that is in our personal and our collective heart and mind at this time to our satisfaction in this window that we have together here today. I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting deva of this land where I live, this beautiful overlighting intelligence, extension of the divine that holds me in my home, where I live, where I do my work. Thank you for your support. And I'd like to acknowledge the same overlighting, organizing intelligence of the place where you find yourself as you're listening to this reading. May it too support you and hold you and take care of you in the best way possible. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container of clarity, of wisdom, of healing, of insight, of transformation, of peace, of whatever is uppermost in our hearts and minds may be held and acknowledged here in the best way possible for our good and that of everyone whose life we touch. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions is welcome to go now. Okay, my friends, let's get into this week's reading, shall we? All right, Creator, what is it that we need to know this week as we move forward in the world with its ups, downs, all-arounds, intensity, and strangenesses? What will help us to stay centered, to stay grounded, to stay deeply present, deeply aware, deeply congruent with the wisdom of our hearts and our minds and our spirits, and aligned with the broader, wiser parts of us that are connected to the soul of the world and the source of all life? Thank you. Okay, starting with the recent past. So this card is information from where we've come from that's relevant now and going forward. This is the card of signals, the card of communication. It's a wand, which is about the creativity, the inspiration, the passion. It's the fire element. It's a generative potential we all have inside of us. And she's standing on a rose, which signifies desire, and she's sending signals out and receiving signals. We're always doing this. I like this card for that reason. We don't realize it, but we are in constant communication with life and the world around us through the frequency, the energy, the vibrations that we are emanating. So when we practice something like holding gratitude, we become an attractant for very high frequency energy, which is why a gratitude practice can be so incredibly powerful and helpful, especially when we don't know what else to feel or how else to be. So this card is reminding us that this is ongoing. We are constantly sending our desire out into the universe, and the desire is coming back to us. The universe is responding to those emanations that we are making. This is our communication with life. This is how our manifestation goes. Now, it's interesting because if we're focused on things that aren't very high frequency, that which is like unto itself is drawn, which is a fancy way of saying, as you're emanating, you're going to get the same quality of energy coming back to you. So this is why it's so important to have practices that bring us into mindfulness, that bring us into this present moment. Because when we're here in this present moment, we can discern, is this really how I want to be feeling? Is this really what I want to be emanating out into the world? Is this really what I want to be pulling more of back into my experience? And we can change it. We can take a nice deep breath. Come back into the beautiful bodies that we are occupying, these essential aspects of our humanness that tell us what is for us and what isn't when we're paying attention. If our mind is off wandering around and is not grounded, which is most of us, we will miss the signals. We will miss the yes. We will miss the no. We have to be in the body. And when we hang out in the body and we get clear about these things, then we can make different decisions. We can say, actually, I want to move in this direction. No, I can't say yes to this. I need to move over here because that's where the highest enthusiasm is. We've been talking about the yes for months, probably years now. And that's a very important part of this desire force energy that is driving us. When we are always moving from our highest enthusiasm, and believe me, I'm not talking about cloud nine here. I'm talking about, is it a nap? Is it a walk? Or is it, blueberries or bananas? Those simple things. In every moment, we are constantly making decisions. And if we come from an orientation of where is my highest enthusiasm? What is the shiniest option in front of me? Then we're moving our life force towards things that dial up our life force. We're actually turning our boat in the direction of what serves us most. The universe makes things that are part of our yes shiny because that's where we want to be. That's where life wants us. That's where we agreed to be, what we agreed to do, where our people are going to be, where our opportunities lie. And I've given you very simplistic examples about this. Example, blueberries or banana, chocolate or vanilla. But it goes on a big, larger scale too, about where you want to live, about the kind of work you want to do, about the people you want to hang out with, about in this moment, because that's where we create from, what is the better option in front of me right now? What serves me best? If we have the mastery and the discipline to do this practice consciously, and that's what all of our sacred practices are all about, is bringing us into this present moment so that we are deeply aware and connected to ourselves so that we can respond, then we live life in a different way and we start to manifest in a completely different fashion because our energy we're leveraging it for us rather than doing the default. Having our negative emotions or complaining, falling in the hole, wallowing, being in a less than optimal state. We can change that in any moment. We can say, yep, nice deep breath. I may not have the answers right now, but they're coming. And shift your perspective towards being resilient and happy and present and focusing on the good, focusing on the blessings and giving thanks and appreciation for those, because that switches our energy set point, and all of a sudden we're running in a completely different way and we're pulling things in a completely different way. So lots to say about communication this week. We need to stay conscious and deliberate, lined up with our highest enthusiasm to manifest the kind of experience that we want to have. The Emperor, major arcana. The Emperor has really, really good vision. He's very grounded. He sits at the base of this beautiful big mountain. He has the waters of the collective unconsciousness running at his feet. He has these gorgeous roses blooming in the corner. Once again, the symbols of desire. And he's sitting on this wide throne. So he's very grounded. He's very present. And he looks into his domain. He sees his people. He sees the resources. He sees the opportunities. And he sees how he can bring things together because his intention is for everyone's highest and greatest good. It's not just about him having the best experience or getting the furthest ahead. He is authentically responsible to his people and to the place that he is stewarding. And as a result, his orientation and his intention is bringing something completely different through. So the Emperor is in our present. This is about being as grounded as we can be. And if you don't know what being grounded is, it's feeling calm, it's feeling centered, it's the ability to be deeply present and not be reactive. And being in nature is one very powerful way to get grounded. Because in nature, we have something called negative ions. When we're around electromagnetic devices, as I am here, we start to pick up positive ions in our field. And when we go into a natural environment, the natural ions that are the negative ions, that are in that environment automatically neutralize our charged field, which is why it's so good to get into nature, why it's so good to be by the water, why it's so good to get our shoes off and be barefoot on the ground or stepping into a body of water. All of those things can help us to ground, to get back into these beautiful bodies, right? To be here now. And when we're here in this now moment, that's when we're driving the bus. Not when our mind is running off amok, completely ungrounded, untethered, having a wild adventure. That's not when we're grounded. We have to be in the bodies to be grounded. So finding ways to be in your body and learning to take care of yourself so it's safe to be in your body. And right now, there's a lot of stuff surfacing in the world, in our fields. Personally, we're clearing stuff out. And so if there's things that are incomplete in your field, you may be feeling a little triggered about being in your body. And that might be something you want to give some attention to. Find somebody to work with. I really love EFT and Brad Yates, the EFT master on YouTube. He has a channel where you can tap through rounds that help you to kind of come back to yourself and to clear away layers of gunk and debris in your field. I recommend that highly, but it is about taking responsibility for ourselves. We can't expect anyone to rescue us. We have to do it for ourselves. Find the help, find the support, find what you need so that you can clear away whatever is in your way. And remember, that isn't a permanent thing. That stuff that maybe even has been with you as long as you've lived, that can be cleared away. You're not at the effect of that. You're not a victim of it. In every now moment, we can make a different choice about who we're being from here on in. We don't have to be defined by our past. It was important to say that. So, the Emperor. This is about seeing truly, seeing well, seeing wisely, being grounded, being stable within ourselves. And as we're stable within ourselves, we look out into the world in a different way. And we're not so easily led. We're not so easily confused because we're grounded, we're present, we're at home within ourselves. And that, as we know in this kooky day and age, is where it's at for staying in the driver's seat of our experience and not getting knocked off by the currents and the ebbs and flow of the tide of our times. The near future, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So, Pentacles, earth element, this is new beginnings. It's like the acorn that holds the potential for that incredible oak tree that will grow out of it. That's the quality of the energy of aces. And in Pentacles, it's the earth element. The name of the card is reward. It's this possibility space of when we sow good seeds, what is the crop that will come from it? Whether that's a field of wheat or an acorn growing into an oak tree, we are always planting seeds and we hold the potential to grow amazing things. We're here in human form, co-creating with life. And when we understand and hold this mastery of the now moment, we can create incredible experiences and opportunities and draw them into our field of experience. And not just for us, as we know with the Emperor, but for those around us as well. When each of us is happy, healthy, and thriving, we become a happy, healthy, thriving member of society. And our radiant well-being affects everyone who we encounter. So it behooves us as individuals to take good care of ourselves so that we can be as congruent and aligned and healthy and on it, you will, as we can be, so that we can make the biggest difference in the world that we came to make, to be of greatest service to each other. And so the signals that we're sending The universe is responding. By being here now, staying deeply grounded, staying deeply present, being very stable, and looking out into the world with clean and clear eyes, we will know how best to be in service not only to our own good, but that of those around us. And then with that, we are planting powerful seeds. We are creating powerful new realities, powerful new futures. We start with our own experience. And as we ping off each other and exchange ideas and hang out with each other and get excited together, we open up worlds of possibility. So we're always doing this. The question is how are we doing it? And are we lined up with the highest intention? That's where the yes comes in, paying attention in this moment, the highest enthusiasm. That will help us line up with our highest yes. The foundation card for this week is the card of balance, 2 of Swords. Beautiful, harmonious energy. She's standing in the middle of these 2 pillars that are holding up sort of a veil of sky. She's got this beautiful big feather that she's balancing. So it's about that light balance, that light step, about harmony, about things being, well, not equal, but you know what I'm saying, that equality, that balance, that evenness. This is our foundation card for this week. This is what we need to know, why we're having the reading, is this energy of balance. By operating in this way, we're creating more balance. We're creating more harmony. We're coming home to ourselves and we're operating in the best, most optimal way possible for ourselves and for those around us. So understanding the importance of this present moment existence, understanding the role that we're playing in our own experience and that of others by being healthy, happy, thriving individuals oriented towards our good. When we do that, like I said, we're a phenomenal agent for the good in everybody else's experience because we ping off each other. Something happens in your experience and then we meet up for coffee and you throw things in my field and I go, wow, okay, never thought about it this way. Or, oh, that's a good idea. Or, oh, I don't want to do it that way. We're always learning from each other. We're always taking distinctions from each other. We're in each other's experience to grow, to become more, to distinguish what we prefer. Not to change it in anybody else's experience, but to understand ourselves better. And from that understanding, make different, better choices that serve us and ultimately the world at large. Because when we're happy, healthy, and thriving, we have a very full cup that effortlessly spills out into the life around us. And a society of happy, healthy, thriving individuals is one that will change the world. So, like I said, it's like our mission, our work is to be this person in our own experience, to cultivate this, to be masterful enough to do this for ourselves and to help each other, to be that clearing for light and love and beauty. And this will lead us to more balance, more well-being, more harmony, more ability to see clearly and function well and to make good choices and take profitable, healthy, congruent action from that clarity. So this is a beautiful reading for this week. Yeah, there's just staying home, staying within ourselves, staying congruent with ourselves, lining up with the higher, broader, wiser part of us, lining up with gratitude so that we are holding high frequency as we interact with each other and as we interact with the world. And I recommend that, especially if you don't know where to put your focus, a gratitude practice. When you wake up in the morning, before you open your eyes or get out of bed, what are 5 things you're grateful for? And at the end of the day, as you close your eyes and you're about to drift off to sleep, what are 5 things you're grateful for from the day? What that does is you're beginning to set up a field of appreciation and gratitude, which is very high frequency vibration. And as you're going into the sleep state, which is when we regenerate, when we heal, when we take in the data from the day and process it, we're creating a set point that is quite a bit higher than where we were before. And when we wake up in the morning and we choose to start our day with gratitude and appreciation, once again, we're elevating that bar. That's just an example of a beginning place. And I know many of you are beyond that, but just remembering how important that is. What is our set point? What is the frequency? What are we sending out into the universe? And how can we cultivate a better state so that we are sending out what we want to receive back, but amplified in good ways? Because we are planting the seeds of the future and it needs to come from a balanced, grounded state, which won't come if we're paying attention to the outside world in a big way. If we're too plugged into the media and having our emotions manipulated, then our effectiveness at generating and launching congruent vibration and frequency is going to be skewed. So that's why I keep harping on maybe take a break. Don't be quite so plugged in. Come home to your real life, you here now, the people in your experience now. Be here. This is where your point of creation and opportunity and distinction and empowerment is. It's in this now moment, not your brain sucked into social media or the news. That's not congruent. That's not authentic. That's not real. Real life happens in our bodies in this now moment. I think I better move on. I could probably lecture about this. The energy is pretty strong about it, but you get the gist. So, taking in this wisdom from this week so that we can just use it in whatever way suits us best in service to our highest and greatest good and our best offering. So, Creator, let's pull in our card to grow on, which will summarize the distinctions that we received this week and help us to take them home and carry them with us. Symbols, interpretations, meaning something that will ground us in this knowledge and this wisdom so that we can use it in service to our good and that of everyone whose life we touch. Thank you. Card of protection, the 10 of Pentacles. So, Earth element, once again, it's the legacy card. I like to call it the legacy card because this is about the intergenerational connection that all of us here on Earth at this time, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have forebears. We wouldn't be here if humanity hadn't existed for as long as it has on this beautiful planet. And humanity is growing. Every generation changes. Every generation learns from the one that comes before. And as a result, our expression and our experience changes. And we need to be mindful of this piece because we in turn are leaving our legacy for future generations. What are we leaving? And that starts with our own personal legacy. How are we living our life so that in turn, as we live in this experience, we're making the world a better place, making a contribution in service to more life, so that as we leave this planet, we haven't diminished life, but we've added unto it to the best of our ability. It doesn't mean we're all here to cure cancer. It doesn't mean that. But there might be a few of us who are here to do that. And if we don't do that, and we don't do our life's work, then we're not really in service to more life, right? So this is calling us back to who do I want to be and how do I want to be? What would I like to leave on this planet? And it comes back to the yes. It comes back to that highest calling because it's in our yes that our legacy exists. It's through our yes that we will make our highest and happiest contribution to life. So we need to be paying attention to that part because otherwise we may not attain what it is that we could potentially attain while we're here. And the legacy piece is also saying unplug from external distraction. If your energy is being funneled in directions that are not yours, then you're not putting them towards your experience and your contribution. And a lot of us, let's face it, it's so easy to be distracted these days. It's so easy to spend all our time and energy focused on what's going wrong in the world rather than what's going right in our own experience. So as much as possible, come home. This is an earth card. Come back to your reality, your right now moment, where you exist. What brings you to more life? Say yes to more of that. Have more of that in your field and take it out into the world. Move through the world from that place of congruence between you and the broader, wiser part of you, you and your yes. It's all the same thing. And do this good work that you've come to do, whatever that may be. And like I said, we're not all here to write bestsellers. We're not all here to make lasting scientific discoveries. Most of us live very quiet lives. But in the living of that quiet life, if we're doing it with intention and with love and with grace, we are going to touch the lives of the people around us. We don't know what impact that will have and how that will enable them to live into their yes and in turn impact the lives of those around them. we have to remember that we are each agents in each other's experience. We're each here to be clearings for more love and light. And when we approach our life from this direction and from our yes, we move through the world in a completely different way, in service to more good. It's sort of inevitable. It's just how it flows. So this beautiful legacy card is our card to grow on this week. This coming home to ourselves, staying grounded, staying present, staying on target with our lives. Grateful for those who came before, who gave us this opportunity to be here now on this planet at this time, making our particular contribution. It's a really, really lovely, lovely thing to think about. We are part of the human family. So take that part in and come home to yourself and say, okay, as the current member of this living human family, where am I at? Where is my highest light? Where is my highest joy? Where is my highest enthusiasm? What am I here for? And like I've said before, your purpose is to discover your yes. Discover that shiny aspect, that pile of things that you can't help yourself, and say yes to it. Because when we go in that direction, our life force goes up. The dial goes up on our life force. Life flows with ease. We meet our people. We have flow. We have grace. We have phenomenal opportunities and connections. And when we manifest from that place, that's when real magic and power happens. So that is our card for this week. Let's just take a nice deep breath and absorb it. Allowing this wisdom and information to land in our field wherever it needs to settle. And allowing what is not really relevant for us or helpful just to flow down that ground that we set at the beginning of our session. Because all of it can serve us, either intentionally and deliberately or as compost for more good growth. Creator, thank you for this opportunity to be here with all those who come for these readings this week and every week. Thank you for this community of life that is on earth now, that is growing, that is improving, that is becoming more self-aware, more conscious, more deliberate. I send love and light out into this field of existence. Grateful for every individual who's making choices from this now moment to line up with more love, more light, more grace, more peace, more joy in service to the good. I want to thank all those who helped to hold this space today, help us to make best use of this information this week, Creator. We are so grateful for this opportunity we have to be incarnate at this time of awakening and to do our bit, however great, however small, in service to this unfolding love and light on the planet at this time. I'd like to thank the four archangels, and I'd like to thank you for being here with me, adding your energy to mine and making these readings possible. If you love them, if they stir you and you think they would benefit someone, please consider sharing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And also, when you write your comments underneath, I understand that affects things. I don't know how exactly, but it's also great feedback for me to know that you're out there and that this isn't just going into a void. So thank you for all of you who do make comments and share your perspective. It's very welcome. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a beautiful week of connecting to the field of life and finding your place in it. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. See you next week. Bye for now.